Okay, so up until this point, we have been generating our images either using viewports and sending them to our sheet layers, or even going file export and exporting an image file. I can draw a marquee and that will create the frame for the image that I export. But what we can also use is our Renderworks camera. So our Renderworks camera is in our visualization tool set, which is the little light bulb in the bottom left-hand corner. So in selecting my visualization tool set, I can see there's a couple options here, but here's my Renderworks camera. So in selecting a Renderworks camera, I'm just going to go into top plan view for now, and I want to set up my shot like this. So the first click is basically where we're placing this person, and then the second click or the line that I'm establishing is our focal length. So in setting the second point, I get these object properties. So my camera height, that's going to be like the height that I place my camera. So if I'm looking at it and I'm depending how tall, it's at 5 feet, and a direct line of sight is going to be at 5 feet. I can play with those, so that's going to change the image that we're creating. Top plan view, I can activate camera. All these we can also change in our object info palette after. So my projection, I can either do parallel projection or I can do perspective. There's multiple different types of perspective. My render mode, so I can do OpenGL, I can do custom Renderworks and modify those settings through there. My aspect ratio, so we get in, if we're creating this image for screen, the widescreen format is 16:9, so I can select that. I can also play, like this is, I don't know how knowledgeable you are about photography terminology, but this is kind of what we're using. So even our film size and our focal length, our field of view, DPI, so dots per image, 72 is for web, 300 is going to be for print. I'm just going to hit OK, and we can play with, and I want you guys to play with that. This is why I'm introducing it today. So before Wednesday, you can go home and just kind of play with things a little bit. I'm going to hit OK, and there I have my camera. I can, pardon? Damn. So I can go up and I can activate my camera, and this is the view I have with the settings that I have. Obviously, I don't want it in wireframe, so I can go here and I can change my render mode, and I have it in OpenGL. I can even change my film size. So isn't 16 IMAX? You can play with those. I don't know, that didn't really do much. Field of view, so I can change this degrees and make it a wider field of view. If I go back to, if I deactivate my camera and go back to top plan view, I can see this angle. Because I increased that angle in my object info palette, it increased those side arms. I can also select my camera and I can make those adjustments here. So I can change that angle. I can also change this focal length. Yeah. And I mean, some of those things you're going to want to play with and see actually what it looks like. So now even if I wanted to do my camera height at say 8 feet and my viewing look to height, so that totally gives a different perspective, right? So what I can also do, I'm going to deactivate camera and go to top plan view just so I can see things. With my camera selected, I can go up to viewport and create viewport. It's going to ask me if I want to use that camera, like similar to a crop, to create that viewport. So I'm going to hit yes. I'm just going to send it wherever. Hopefully this is all good. Okay, and now see what it does is it shows it just like my other viewports, rendered viewports, it's dashed line, so we want to update it before we get it ready to print or process. So with this selected, I'm going to go update. I can change all the settings in here as well. I can also double click on my viewport just like I was editing it. Now remember, we've just paid attention so far to annotations, crop, and design layer, but I can also edit the camera and hit OK, and that brings me in and I can activate camera and then change all these settings. Okay, right? And then I return to my viewport. Any questions? Does everybody feel comfortable about installing cameras, modifying them, using them to create viewports?